I want to welcome all of you whom are here, as well as anyone who may be catching this on the replay, to a very unique moment that I chose to have. I am Monica Harris. I am the managing director of Efficient Estates Annuity and Insurance.com. I also hold, I said host because I'm looking at this TLC microphone in front of Tasha's face. I also own moneymoveswithmonica.com, where we specialize in financial literacy products, books, as well as courses. And both of my organizations support Royal Daughters of God, affectionately referred to as our dog, where we do teen and adult financial literacy. The flow of this session here, I don't know if I really want to call it a session. It's really a conversation with a woman whom I have grown to love and adore and admire. The purpose, I'm sorry, the flow. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys what our purpose is today, just in case you're unclear. And then I'm going to introduce my amazing friend and guest. And this just feels really weird saying guest because I do not want this to come across as an attempt to do a talk show, not my area of expertise. What this is this woman has done some things that I've witnessed over the years. And I just feel like I know storytelling is powerful. It empowers others, the things that we go through in our journeys. The grace that this woman has demonstrated in one of the trials that I've witnessed, and I have no idea if she's even going to share that with us, but one of the trials that I have witnessed her enter into and overcome, she has done it with grace, and the way that she has bounced back. In fact, I can't even really say bounce back because I would suggest that she never fell off, at least not in front of me. And if she did, she didn't let us see it at all. But the grace that she carries and how she perseveres and how she faces all of the things that I've personally witnessed come at her, I just feel like others hearing this could be a blessing because I know that we all have gone through something, especially in the last 18 months. So I'm going to introduce even further who that is because I just went all out already. And then we're going to ask her a couple of questions and give her an opportunity to tell us about herself, to speak first person about who she is. And hopefully she's going to grace us with some closing thoughts, words of wisdom that we can walk away with and keep with us. So get your pens and your notebook ready, because I'm sure she's going to give us something that we can turn into an affirmation to pick us up and lift us up in some of those moments of distress. And then we're going to jump into that raffle. It's going to be really, really, really quick. But for those of you who registered to be on here, we have a raffle that we are going to do for that massage with Power of Touch Massage Therapy. All right, so let's get us started. Tasha Clopton, who is this beautiful, amazing woman who has beyond impressed me, and that is not easy to do, is an award-winning, multi-talented entrepreneur, broadcast journalist, educator, and speaker. Her diverse talents and personality allow her to captivate audiences on screen and behind the scene. You are blessed if you get behind the scene with her. Tasha has over 15 years experience in TV, radio, and print media, and started her career interning at CBS 2 News in Chicago. She's worked as a camera operator for Salem Baptist Church of Chicago and as a director for their live broadcast. Currently, she serves as media director for Cosmopolitan Community Church. These experiences have led to consulting opportunities to develop the media departments of other organizations. Tasha graduated from Columbia College Chicago, where she served as past president of the Columbia College Association of Black Journalists. Woo, woo. Her love for broadcasting journalism grew from her print journalism career, which included published successes in local and national publications. Her excellent communication skills have opened doors to other opportunities, including voiceover artist, voiceover artist work and speaking gigs. Tasha was awarded the Female Broadcaster of the Year at Illinois Center for Broadcasting, currently known as the Illinois Media School, because of her go get 'em attitude and her love of all things media. With more than 15 years as an educator, Tasha has cultivated the minds and spirits of students in second through eighth grades with her knowledge and positive energy. She most recently served as education coordinator at the Illinois Media School, where she mentored media students, preparing them for professional and personal success. I had the pleasure of meeting a few of them, and they adore her just as much as I do. She worked briefly for Crawford Broadcasting, and if that were not enough to keep her busy, she is also a broker with Charles Rutenberg,
Mm-hmm.
Charles Rutenberg Realty. Most recently, Tasha launched tlctalkradio.com. That's tlctalkradio.com, an internet podcasting station as a platform for the shows that she produces. Tasha Talks, DT on Our Minds, and A Vibrant Mix with Tasha, Tamako, and Fred. This is my girl Tasha, y'all. And for anyone who just jumped on, please be aware that there's something I'm supposed to be reminding you of or letting you know. What was it, Tasha?
That you are being recorded.
Being recorded. How I met Tasha briefly. I met Tasha about 2016, perhaps, maybe even 2014.
It was it was way, it was like 12, was I in school? Maybe 13,
Oh, it's been a while.
12, 2011, 2012. I wasn't out here where I am now. I was still allegedly happily married. So yeah, it was a long time.
Okay. Well, Tasha, as a graduate of Lynn Bloom High School, me as a graduate of Whitney Young, there were a couple of alumni from both schools, or no, from Lynn Bloom, that coordinated a networking event, and it was beautiful. It was something they were doing monthly. I think I met Tasha at the first one that I attended, and she was like, "I want to do business with you," and she has been doing business with me since whenever that was. So it's been a really, really, really long time. One of the most supportive, dedicated clients that I have at Efficient Estates Annuity and Insurance.com. And she also was one of the biggest referral sources for our business. With that being said, wealth generation is one thing, but sustaining it is legendary. Okay. I've watched, and I said this earlier, but I've watched this woman persevere through what I would consider to be a significant ordeal with a smile, fearlessly. And as I observe her weekly and listen to the moves that she continues to make in spite of, I grow more and more admiration. And I personally am empowered by it. So let's start off by giving you an opportunity, Tasha, to answer a couple of questions for us. Let us get to know who Tasha is. Are
Uh,
you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Let me get to my questions that I didn't have already queued up.
I've got them queued up.
I bet I know you do. This is what you do.
As you prepare, I'm listening to you. And I was having a conversation with my best friends, all of them, because we all chat regularly. Hey, Nancy, I see you. And sometimes we forget what we accomplished. We're looking forward to the next thing we want to do. And sometimes somebody has to say, hey, pause for a second. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've come through. Whereas in the middle of it, you're just moving. And so I'm almost struggling not to cry listening to you because I'm like, I did do that. I did that. Oh, because I'm steady moving.
I have always paid attention. I've always paid attention to you. And guys, please note that when you see me come on with something like this, because this is not my career, this is not my job, it is because you got to start giving people, and I just felt a chill, their recognition and their flowers as authentically and in every way that you can while you can, right? So hey Nancy, hey Kiana. Kiana's another one that I've been watching for years. And while we may not be together on a consistent basis, we may not make it to each other's events all the time, I see you. And so I just don't want it to go unnoticed. There's so much more that I desire to, and there are a couple of plans in the works for more than just having a conversation publicly. But I also believe that the things that I've seen you do and persevere through can bless others as well, especially when I listen to the stories and watch other people go through very similar things, not as fluidly.
Mm.
Okay. So tell us, what was the highlight of your childhood?
So it sounds cliche. I'm gonna say family, but I'm gonna add something to it. And I've been paying attention to this here recently. Family is not just who the group you're born into, but the people you create. I'm just gonna keep putting Nancy on the spot. So Nancy and I met at our fabulous grammar school. We're so fabulous. We have grammar school reunions, right? I went to Emmanuel Christian School, and in addition to the biological family, those memories that we create, the memories we've created as the Emmanuel Christian School family. Even high school, I went, as you mentioned, to Lindblom Technical High School. It's now Lindblom Math and Science Academy. I think for me, the highlight, and I'm thinking about this right now, like I've reviewed the questions, but I'm thinking about it right now. I think the highlight of growing up has been the ability to build relationships. That's been key. And I think if I'm putting it together as we talk, that's why I've been able to, as you say, gracefully navigate some challenging situations because the relationships are intact. So it's not a situation where I'm coming to you because I need something and I never talk to you again, or you come to me because you need something, we never speak again. It's for real relationship. As they talk about credits and debits in the 7 habits of highly successful people, there's always a credit with me. There's never a deficit because I sincerely, now people get on my nerves, but I sincerely love people. That don't mean I don't get on my nerves, but sincerely, I love them. So I think going back to your original question, the ability, my family, the ability to build relationships has been the highlight of my childhood. And I don't think it has stopped.
That makes a lot of sense, brings a few things into perspective there.
Mhm.
Hi, Tyra, I see you joined. Please note that we are recording, and periodically us as a guest are on the screen. So just note that you are recorded. Tyra, it's a blessing to see you here. She is the same. I mean, like, it's some of the people who registered, like you just said, I'm like, whoa, because they too have allowed me to witness some amazing victories in their lives. That's huge. Relationship building. Let's move on. No, that's huge. That's huge. Building relationships, authentic ones. And I think you do that very well because otherwise we wouldn't have gotten to this point.
Yeah.
What do you believe was missing, if anything, or something that you wish that you had, an experience or anything at all as a child?
If I were joking around, I would say wealth, but no, I'm glad we weren't wealthy. I wonder, and I'm not, it's not a shot at anybody who's born into wealth, but I wonder if I would have been able to navigate and problem solve if it had come a little easier to me. So, no, I don't think anything was missing. I had all the love, all the craziness, all the discipline. Nancy can attest to that. She's probably tired of me calling her name, but I don't think anything was missing, honestly.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. So you guys, as I'm asking Tasha these questions, some of these things I've never asked her before. I've never heard her respond to these questions before. So I'm being a little selfish here, but it is all bringing some things into perspective for me as to how you came to be a person. And I was like, if this woman tells her story, she's going to bless some folk. Did you aspire to be who you are today when you were a child? Like you have, and some of you missed her bio, but your background in education and journalism and media, your personality being so outgoing, outspoken, extremely direct, but very loving. Did you aspire to be this person when you were a child?
Yep. So there's audio of me hosting my own radio station. Um, me talking and then playing some music. I ran across that maybe a few years ago. Always, played school. So one thing that wasn't on the bio is that in addition to being the media director and being a realtor, I also teach 8th grade science. So yeah, everything I've ever set out to do, I do it. When do I sleep? I don't know, but I do it. And well, I won't jump ahead of your questions, but yeah, I set out to do everything I wanted to do. And somebody even said to me, remember, I just spoke about not always remembering what you've done. I posted a picture. I'm the world's biggest New Edition fan. Biggest. We might have a fist fight if you insult any 6 of them, right? So I posted a picture, and my cousin, I have a cousin named Tasha. She said, I love seeing this. You've always been the one to make your dreams come true. Because when we were growing up, I always said, oh, absolutely, I'm going to meet, it was the 5 of them, and then the 4, and then the 5, and then the 6. But I always said I would meet them. And again, sometimes you pause and go, wow, I did do what I said I was going to do. It's really important. Scripture says faith cometh by hearing, right? Sometimes you need to hear yourself say what it is you want to do and keep saying it, whatever that is.
You're going to hear paper shuffling. I'm sorry. I got to take notes.
You good.
So true. I'm going to get everybody unmuted shortly too, because we're doing good on time. And I know that some of us want to say some things to you and ask you some more questions.
Okay.
So repeat that last thing you just said for me.
That the scripture says faith cometh by hearing. Sometimes you have to tell yourself. There's a popular gospel song I can't call who it's by right now, but it's encourage yourself. Sometimes say these things aloud to yourself. You may not even realize that you're affirming these things to become true. We hear it, we say put it in the atmosphere, but I can tell you that it's authentic. And so that's why I don't say things like, I don't feel like going to work today, I'm gonna tell them I'm sick. Nope, because then I'm gonna get sick. Nope, I'm just not coming. See y'all later. That kind of thing.
That's real. And that's good reaffirmation for even me. So thank you.
Sure.
I use the iPhone for it. I talk to my iPhone, and then before you get cut, I'll put my AirPods in and hear myself telling myself what I need to be focused on. So I know you probably thinking, Monica, I never thought you would cut nobody. What I do get from you is that you would cut somebody. So Tasha is also that person that I feel like if I was still in that state of mind and that space, I could take Tasha with me.
I am a Jesus follower, and I'm his homie, Peter. Up on Peter. Remember, he was cussing and slashing ears. Y'all pray for me, y'all. Y'all pray.
You know what? See, this is I'm telling you, she just draws me in. So that's a little bit about getting to know you, and that was some you uncovered some things that I truly did not know.
Okay.
Let's do a little bit of revelation here.
All right.
Something. You ready?
Making me nervous. Go ahead.
Describe a challenging life experience during your adulthood and how you defeated it. How'd you respond?
There are 2. I'm trying not to be here all afternoon with y'all. I love you, but I feel like people have things to do. Let's go through my divorce. So people get divorced every day, unfortunately, every few hours, unfortunately. And I think navigating that water, because I think that's probably when you and I became closer. I think many people were stunned when some of my family was like, oh, good. They weren't that stunned, but many people were stunned because it appeared a certain way. But I'm a believer in living authentically. So what I could have done is stayed married, been this kept woman with these fabulous things, not paying bills. It wasn't worth it. I think the way I navigated it was by relying on those relationships, by first going to someone who was in the spot I wanted to be in. So I'm getting divorced, right? So I called my cousin who's been divorced and successfully remarried, because that's where I want to go. So, hello, cousin, this is happening. And for a long time, he was the only one who knew. I think pressing through fear. I say all the time that bravery is not the absence of fear. It is the pushing through even when you're scared. So absolutely, I was terrified to move. And again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm the only one who's ever, gone through a divorce, but it can be scary. I had to start over, financially. I went from being in my parents' house to being married. And then I went and bought a whole big old house out in the burbs. Yeah, frightening. Relying on those relationships, relying on my relationship with God, paying attention to the moves I was making, watching the people around me. Your circle is so important. And so if the people around you are stagnant, then that's where you'll be. Water flows. So if y'all are flowing, great. But stagnant water draws bacteria and mosquitoes. And I'm coming up with these metaphors all off the top of my head, by the way. Which means I was born to do this, right? So I knew that I wanted to continue in the strength that I knew I was born with. I know, I don't have any children. I'm not married anymore. My 10-year-olds, they're not 10, they're my parents. They're actually 71 and 81. But my 10-year-olds who don't need a thing, it's my goal to make sure that I take care of them, that I'm able to do anything that they need me to do. So I knew I had to live authentically as Tasha. And that meant, escaping something that wasn't serving me the best way that it could. I don't know if that was a big cliche, but that's my answer.
Absolutely not. And thank you I don't know if you know that when I wrote that question, because I've never done this with anyone, not
Okay.
publicly, right? I'm going to make sure that I start to have these intimate spaces with everyone that walking their journeys is touching and empowering me and getting me through some stuff.
Yeah.
It might not always be publicized, although this is a very intimate setting, because everyone's not going to want to have these types of conversations with other folk watching. But I'm making it I'm committing to myself to do this with everyone that is like, wow, you wowing me, right? But I don't know if you knew. And that being said, I say that because I developed these questions based on you and how you've impacted me. So I don't know if you knew that that was the situation that I was talking about.
I didn't. And as you were saying that I, went through some things with Grace, I was like, what is she talking about? All right, well, okay. So I was waiting on you to expound, but yeah, it was scary, but I had to do it. It's like when your mom showed up with the castor oil. Remember that, y'all? That was horrible. But you had to take it because you wanted to feel better. So I'm gonna take this nasty castor oil. I'm gonna be mad at you for a hot second, Mom. I'm gonna drink this orange juice, but I'm gonna feel better when all of the mess, proverbial and literal, comes out.
And I witnessed as a distant connection because we were fairly newer in our relationship when that occurred, but I witnessed it, and we were pretty much strictly professional. But when we would talk, the energy that's in Tasha's voice, and I'm talking to you,
Okay.
the energy that was in your voice, the joy in your demeanor when I would come to the house, it was the exact same that you carry now. So I was like, I don't know if you recall, I used to come, and when you told me what was happening, I was sitting at, I think, your kitchen table thinking, oh boy, I hope that she doesn't break down. And like minutes later, it's like, maybe she's lying to me. Maybe she's about to say she's joking, because she is just full of energy. And I didn't know that that was just Tasha being Tasha, but I'm suspecting that, I don't know, it could be the Holy Spirit, that there is some type of course or something that you probably need to be providing.
My father told me and my brother growing up, he's a card player. That ain't my talent unless we talking Uno. I can't do nothing else. Don't ask me to play spades. We're going to lose. But he always said, somebody always wants your hand. And even not being a card player, I completely understood what he meant. You can't control the cards that you're being dealt. I mean, except for the things we put ourselves in. But generally speaking, you can't control the cards you've been dealt, but you can control your response. And no matter how bad it is for you, there's somebody across the table who wants the cards you were dealt. So as a little girl, I understood that. And obviously, internalized it because yeah, I could have been over here acting a fool, throwing stuff, being angry, being bitter. I took myself right to therapy, made sure I was good. Hell, she dismissed me from therapy. She was like, "Okay, I'm just taking your money now. You're good." Uh, but I wanted to make sure I was the best I could be. Um, period. That's not I'm not making sure I'm the best Tasha I can be because Tasha wants to get married again. I just want to be the best Tasha I can be. The end. And so that's been my approach to life. So yeah, there was not the best at the end. I won't go into a lot of detail. Some of my people still hang with him. I'll move on. So I won't be disrespectful, but at the end of the day, it could have been worse, and that was Daddy's way of teaching us that.
Well, girl, you did that. You did that. And you kind of how in your response, and thank you for sharing that. In your response, you pivoted a little bit into my next request of you because you stated, and I may not be quoting, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to correct me, get us straight over here. You
Okay.
stated, or you referenced aligning yourself with people who've done it. Um, you made reference to the importance of the people that we choose to have, and I'm assuming not just to have and hold, but to keep in our circle. And then you said faith. Now I missed some of this. I'm writing it down. I heard it. Faith, did you say it's not the absence of fear?
I said bravery is not the absence of fear. It is pressing through even when you're scared. If this is the absence of fear, then you're just walking. I don't have any fear going up my stairs, right? But maybe if I have a broken foot, I'm a little nervous about it. But I've got to press on if I want to get up there. That's the analogy I was trying to convey.
So I would suggest that you've already given us some go-to affirmations when we are ready to go in, to snap, to break, to fall apart, to curse God, to whatever it is. Look, and this week I have done just about all that. Are there any specific go-to affirmations in addition to those that you would care to share?
Mm-hmm. I'm too pretty for jail. I need it. They'll get me, y'all. They'll get me. And so I pause and I think, particularly in this alleged post-racial climate, if I smash this lady in her face, this ain't gonna go well. Tasha, you out here representing Jesus. I said I was Peter. I promise you I'm not stabbing people for real. I'm not. That's not what I do. But yeah, pause and think. What are the repercussions? I've always been a thinker. Now that don't mean my emotions ain't going, and so y'all might get my friends, y'all, Nancy, get them too. You will get an ignorant text, think what I wanted to say, what I wanted to do, but I'm wise enough to understand that I have too much to lose. Typically, the people that's pressing you, they don't. That's why they bugging you. If they had something to do, they wouldn't be outside doing all the ignorant stuff they do, whatever that looks like, whether that's at your job. And ooh, I've been in that situation. I had a principal who I really should buy a couple bottles of wine because the way she increased my prayer life so that I didn't, more than verbally attack. Whatever that situation is, I'm a ministry leader at the church, and y'all know church folk. Even if you don't go to church, you done heard the church folk stories. Listen, I'm too pretty for jail, and I can't be out here making Jesus look bad. It's enough of that. So yes, those are my affirmations. Sincerely, just stopping and thinking.
That's good. That's good. That's real good. That was a whole word when you said I should buy a couple of bottles of wine.
She increased my prayer life because it was like, oh. And so in the middle of that challenging, everybody's had a crazy boss, but she was actively campaigning against a whole group of teachers, and I was in the mix. In the middle of that, I was going through the separation process. Yeah. So, and I was in school, the Illinois Media School we talked about. I was in school winning Female Broadcaster of the Year. No, I don't know how I did it either. Yes, I do. Jesus.
That's good. That's good. And representing knowing, and walking in the reality of whom you say you represent and how you want that to look. Um, if we ain't doing it for ourselves, we absolutely need to be doing it for um, the institution that we align ourselves with publicly. For us, that's Christianity. So I love and appreciate that.
Yeah, and I was teaching middle school science, so I had 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Those babies were watching me, and some of them told me at graduation, like, all right, my name was Stubbs at the time. They were like, all right, Miss Stubbs, we get it, because we would have all these conversations. You know how kids are, they emotional, they want to go off, they can't stand the principal. It was ridiculous. Y'all don't have to like her, but you do have to respect her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I modeled that, and they got it. So, well, most of them did. You know, you have to pay attention. It's kind of like why you're doing this platform, right? People are watching you. You don't realize they're watching you till you make an error, and then
Yep.
the broadcast happens, and now you're devastated because you're a human being. Obviously, you're going to mess up, right? But people do not forgive easily.
That's real. That's real. Well, that was some go-to affirmations, as well as I'd say a money bag of wisdom. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to put the gallery on the screen. Okay, so no one has their face on here at all. But what I want to do is I'm going to put the names of the people whom are here.
Okay.
For this massage with the power of touch massage therapy. And while I'm doing that, we have 3 minutes. That's all we need. I'm going to invite anyone who would like to say anything to Tasha, or ask Tasha a question, or just acknowledge Tasha. I'm going to unmute everyone and invite you to do that. But before I do that, Tasha, can you share with us what platforms, what projects you have going on right now, and how we can tap into and get in tune with those?
Sure. So my media platform is, you can see the logo behind me, tlctalkradio.com. We are no longer a live 24/7 station. We are a podcast aggregate, which means you can access the 4 shows and pull up any episode you like whenever you like. We're all there. There are 4 shows. Tasha Talks, that's obviously my show, and it's about relationships of all kinds. DT on Our Minds, which we're recording the next episode at 4 o'clock. That's me and my girlfriend Dana. Anything that's on our mind for the day, we're chatting about it. Lord, A Vibrant Mix. Those reruns have to be reposted because I'm not paying BMI and ASCAP any more money to use the song we use. So that's coming. And the last show, which is hilarious, hosted by Oz and Naima, it's called Not Another Damn Podcast. So if you are a Power 92 fan and you listen to Ozman the Wizard, well, this is his offline podcast with his sister Naima. And when I tell you they are hilarious, oh, we just go on and listen. Not that the other shows aren't great. Clearly, I host the other 2, but they're hilarious. Check them out. All of their episodes are there as well.
And me being a little technically dyslexic, I can tell you, I have listened to some shows. I don't know what shows I was listening to, but I have listened to some shows, and I enjoyed to the point where I've binge listened to about 12 of them in a day. So I want to make sure that I got everybody in. I am now asking you all to unmute. You now have about 1 minute to powwow with Tasha, and I am going to make sure that I just get everybody in. So I have Nancy. Go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Yes. Well, I just want to say that, Tasha and I, we have truly grown up together. She is more than just my best friend. She is my sister. And one of the things that, you stated is that I have watched this young girl when we were girls with her over her big personality and her tenaciousness. She is the most organized person that I know. I promise you, if OCD and organization had a picture, Tasha Clopton's face would be right there. But I've also seen her too as well. Like, she talked about transgress through so many different obstacles and objections. So with that being said, Tasha, I have a question.
Okay.
That if you were to give yourself advice 10 years from now, what would it be?
Now that's a great question. I'm tickling you when I get to Nashville. This question. I'll see her in a couple weeks for our
Yes.
birthday. Oh wow. Keep persevering. I don't mean to sound cliche, but keep persevering. Um, I would remind myself that online dating is trash. Maybe we should do another one on that. Trash. Another piece of advice would be, I don't know, just continue to live authentically. It works itself out. It does. My grandmother used to say, I don't remember her saying it, but my daddy quotes her all the time. Everything works out for the good. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? I want to say this to you because, you know, I love you more than words and life could say, is this: enjoy the right now.
Yep.
Enjoy this time frame. I think that you and I both, we are very focused on what is to come and what we have to do.
Yep.
But enjoy now. I love you.
I love you too. Oh my God, me and Shuby just talked about that. So Shuby is my cousin / best friend too. So all of us know each other. She's not on here today. She's working.
Where is she?
She's working, but we just talked about this. We were at the funeral of a young man who's the son of a dear friend. And when I tell you he lived and he enjoyed his life at 32 years old, y'all enjoy your right now because you just don't know. Yep.
That's good. That's good. And Nancy, thank you. That's going to be my next question and my next time I do this. Oh, well, now wait a minute. Nancy, where are you? Are you in Illinois?
Right there. I see her.
Is Nancy in Illinois?
She's in Nashville.
Crap. Okay.
You won.
Maybe Nancy can assign it to somebody. Let's see. So do I have to continue to ask to unmute on this thing?
I don't think. Are you asking people? No, just if they have something to say, they'll unmute. But if maybe they don't have anything to say.
Okay. So Nancy, I'm going to ask you, do you want me to pick another, or do you want to assign it?
Oh, just pick another. Pick another.
All right, Tyra, I'm sorry. You have a question or a comment? Hey, Tyra.
Hello there, sweet. How are you?
Oh my gosh, it has been too long. Tyra, another one. She don't play no games. She don't play no games.
It's hard. It's hard not to at this point. And Tasha, I hear you say, and I kind of understand to say that you're kind of where you are, or where you are is where you're supposed to be right now. I kind of get that feeling from you. But is there a lesson or an experience that you went through that you wish had happened earlier, so you could have gotten the lesson earlier?
That's good.
I don't know, because I wonder if, and I like that question, but my concern would be if I'd had it earlier, would I have had the wisdom to even grasp the lesson?
Okay, so this is where I'm coming from with this. We do a Zoom with my family, and you know, their favorite phrase is, I am where I'm supposed to be right now, which is similar to kind of what I feel about it. And so I kept saying, well, if you are here and this is where you're supposed to be, why do you believe that if you had had the experience earlier, you still would not be in this spot?
I don't know. And I very well could end up in that same spot if I had the lesson. I think the biggest lesson for me, the biggest challenge I've had in life is the divorce. Because, and here's what I learned about myself. Dude was a nice guy. He was a poor husband. My cousins are watching. You can let them leave their own thing. I don't know though that I would have grasped that in my 20s. I got married when I was like 30. I got married a few days before I turned 31. I just wonder if I would as a 20-year-old, would I've had the strength to exit? Would I have stayed in it? Nancy, you're unmuted. Would I have stayed in it? Would I have tried to make it work when it was obviously not working? particularly at the time as a newer Christian, even though I had been saved since I was 16, and you check these boxes when you grow up. I don't
Mhm.
know. I really don't know if I would have been ready. I'm gonna say that maybe God was like, nope. I always imagine God picking me up by the collar and moving me around because sometimes I'm hard-headed. And he'd be like, girl, get back over here.
Ooh.
And I think that's what he probably had to do with me. I don't know about y'all, but me, Peter, had to absolutely move me around.
For that. Thank you guys for your questions. Tasha, thank you so much for being vulnerable enough to be here with us. Miss Erica Brown, I hope you like massages because you was the next pick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Delisa, for being here. I am grateful for you all taking the time. I'm grateful, ever grateful to my Heavenly Father for giving me the time to actually make some acknowledgement. So Tasha, I don't know if you like massages. You do? Wonderful. Okay. So of course, I'm gonna have to be your assistant because I'm with Nancy. You A-type as all get out. I'm gonna schedule you a massage and you are going to get one as well. So Erica, I'm going to be in touch with you and you'll get a certificate so that you can schedule yours. Tasha, send me your preferred availability and I'll get you all scheduled up and get you the information for it. And it was just wonderful to see you all. Very, very nice to see you, Tyra. And you all have a very blessed weekend. Be safe. I pray that you and all of those that you love and adore make it through healthy and alive. And we almost did this in time. Y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you, ladies.